The Hudson County Board of Freeholders, on a vote of 5-0, with Freeholder Cifelli abstaining and Freeholders Romano, DiDomenico, and Liggio recusing themselves, upheld the County Planning Board decision to reject an application by Shipyard Associates to build 2 residential towers on an uptown section of the waterfront during a special meeting held in Hoboken to address the issue. Numerous Hoboken residents spoke out against the development, including Mayor Dawn Zimmer, Hoboken Housing Authority Chairwoman Dana Weaver, and Councilwoman Beth Mason. Before residents spoke, the board heard from attorneys representing Shipyard Associates, the Hudson T, and the Hoboken Planning Board.
Tonight is only the merits on the 2 issues, traffic and drainage. Now, drainage, there really isn't any issue because everyone agreed that there's going to be less stormwater draining into the county drainage facilities after the project is built than before the project is built. And the reason for that is that there will be an outfall that will discharge the stormwater into the river rather than putting the stormwater as it currently comes off the platform into the county drainage system. So we come back to the one issue that is both within the board's jurisdiction and was somewhat contested. And I use somewhat because none of the experts disagreed. Your experts agreed. My experts agreed. The county engineer agreed. The county planning board staff agreed. Everyone who was a genuine expert agreed that there was no traffic impacts on the county roadway network, and specifically Sinatra Drive. There was no...
There were numerous errors and omissions and inadequacies in the reports that were submitted by the applicant and its professionals. These concerns were pointed out by some of the residents who were there at that hearing. The applicant then came back at a subsequent hearing and submitted revised reports. Some of these reports still contain inaccuracies. For example, one such situation related to the number of units that were going to be built, or the future units that could be built. The Maxwell place, which as we know is a couple blocks from here, was not really considered in either of the reports. And that's just an example, and these are the concerns that existed. These are the concerns of the residents, that these reports are inaccurate, that they are simply inadequate. Merely because someone's an expert does not mean, it is not synonymous with meaning that everything that person says is gospel.
The meeting got heated when Kevin Coakley, a lawyer representing Shipyard Associates, raised objections during comments made by Hoboken Planning Board attorney Clifford Gibbons, which Freeholder O'Day didn't appreciate.
There were significant concerns as to the accuracy and credibility of plaintiff's traffic report. I'm not going to question Mr. Dean's credentials or anything else. They are what they are, but sometimes you get a problem, or you get a situation, and you can't always make it look as good as you want. And frankly, it would appear that Mr. Dean was stretching in that regard. There was discussion and concern expressed by the board membership about detriment to the Hudson County Master Plan in terms of, and also increases in density in the area of the property. This didn't just go on at one hearing, it went on for 2 hearings. And it's not something where people were just willy-nilly coming by and saying things. These were concerns expressed by the board. Excuse me,
yeah, if the attorney for the attorney.
I'd like to finish.
No, it's regarding the issue in here. It's really the county planning board, the council to the county planning board. You're obviously going to submit that you should.
Are you going to object that a party in interest doesn't have?
Well, he said that to me, so I just want to make sure
that
that if he has an objection,
that's for you.
As to the record below.
I want to respond.
As to the record below. I'm not going to let him engage. Let him complete the matter, please.
I'd like to put my objection on the record.
Yeah. He signaled me, and I just want to make sure the record.
Yeah. My objection is that a party whose decision is being appealed has no basis whatsoever to address a judicial or quasi-judicial tribunal about the merits of the matter under appeal. And I advised counsel of this previously, that this would be totally erroneous and infecting this proceeding.
Mr. Coakley, you could have taken the order to the court, so that's not an issue. I sent you a letter with regards to this. Mr. Clifford, would you please focus? Oh, I'm sorry, Gibbons. Just focus on the issue at hand.
No, I will say, let me just respond to that. I don't know what law is being referred to here, and certainly I would have appreciated the courtesy of Mr. Coakley, you knowing that I would be involved in this, that you should have communicated with that. You didn't do that.
Mr. Gibbons.
Mr. Chairman, you have to determine whether or not we're going to allow the attorneys to engage in this. This is our hearing, with all due respect, sir. This is not a court of law that you're going to come here and object every time a statement is made. Our attorney made a ruling. Our attorney's ruling was that she determined that this gentleman, as the planning board attorney, had the right to come here and make a presentation. She notified you of that fact in due time, that if you wanted to object and go to the court and ask for the court to not allow that to occur, you could have done so. So based on that, Mr. Chair, I ask that this gentleman not be allowed to continue to interrupt this gentleman's presentation. If he wants to speak at the end, let him speak at the end again. No one interrupted this gentleman when he came and spoke before this board, and I would ask that he do the same for every other speaker.
May I be heard, please?
No, Mr. Chair, I'm asking you to rule on my request.
Right, basically, we're gonna call you back, let's just finish, he was doing a presentation, let's have him finish the presentation.
Thank you.
You signal me, I asked you to come because you were signaling me. If you had an objection, put it on record, but I had to agree with my colleague, Freeholder Day.
Finally, after listening to the public speak for nearly 2 hours, the board voted to uphold the county planning board decision to the delight of the crowd.
Chairman Munoz.
Yes.
Motion passes.
I'm Michael Shurin with Hudson County View, the eye of the community.